Rain slammed against the glass walls of the rooftop bar like it was trying to break through. Elena pushed through the heavy door, her black coat soaked, heart hammering louder than the thunder rolling over Seattle. City lights smeared across the wet streets below, turning everything into a hazy dream. She was here to end it. One final night with Marcus before walking away forever. He stood at the railing, tall and broad-shouldered, his white shirt clinging to his chest from the mist. Those dark, intense eyes found her instantly, pulling her in like they always did. For one heartbeat, the world stopped. "I can't keep doing this," she said, voice shaking as she reached him. But Marcus cupped her face, rain dripping from his lashes. "Elena, I ended my engagement tonight. For you." His phone buzzed on the nearby table. The screen lit up with a single message from his fiancée: "The wedding is off. Come home. We need to talk about the baby." Elena's blood ran cold. The words on the screen burned into Elena's mind. She stepped back, nearly slipping on the wet rooftop tiles. Marcus reached for her arm, but she yanked away, chest heaving. "Baby?" The word came out broken. "You're having a baby with her?" "Elena, please just listen," Marcus begged, his voice, usually so steady and commanding, cracked with desperation. He was 32, one of Seattle's most sought-after architects, the man who designed glass towers that touched the clouds. Yet right now, standing in the pouring rain, he looked utterly lost. She had met him 14 months ago at a waterfront charity gala. Elena Vargas, 28, a rising photographer known for capturing raw, unfiltered emotion in her portraits. She had been hired to shoot the event, camera in hand, when Marcus literally collided with her while dodging an awkward conversation. Champagne spilled down her emerald dress. Instead of anger, they both burst out laughing. That laugh had started everything. Late-night drives along the Pacific coast, stolen kisses in hidden art galleries, whispered conversations on his downtown loft balcony where he told her she made him feel alive for the first time in years. But he had always kept parts of himself hidden. Family expectations, he'd say, pulling her close instead of explaining. She had fallen anyway, hard, fast, completely. Now the truth was pouring out as violently as the storm. The fiancée, Sophia, was the daughter of his firm's largest client. The engagement had been strategic, at first a way to secure a billion-dollar waterfront redevelopment project that would cement his legacy and save dozens of jobs. But then came the night of his father's birthday party. Too much whiskey, too many arguments, and one mistake with Sophia. "I found out about the pregnancy 2 weeks ago," Marcus said, guiding her under the awning where fairy lights cast a soft glow on his handsome face. His hand lingered on her waist, warm through her wet clothes. "I was going to tell you, I swear, but every time I tried, the project threatened to collapse. My father threatened to cut me off. People's livelihoods." Elena's eyes filled with fresh tears that mixed with the rain. "And what about my heart, Marcus? Every time you held me, every promise you whispered, I was falling in love with a lie." His forehead pressed against hers. She could feel his racing heartbeat matching her own. The scent of his cologne sandalwood and rain wrapped around her like a memory she couldn't escape. His fingers traced her jawline with aching tenderness. "You are the only truth I have," he whispered fiercely. "I love you, Elena, not the version of me everyone else wants. The real me. The one who stays up all night sketching buildings while you edit photos beside me. The one who finally feels seen." They moved inside to a private corner booth. The bar's warm lighting softened the edges of their pain. Marcus ordered her favorite drink, spiced chai with a splash of whiskey, and listened as she poured out her fears. Her last relationship had destroyed her trust. She had sworn she would never be someone's secret again. Every few minutes, another wave of emotion hit. He pulled her closer, their knees touching under the table. A lingering brush of his hand against her thighs sent sparks through her body. She told him about her upcoming gallery show, though, one where half the photos were secretly inspired by him. He smiled, eyes shining with pride and longing. "Romantic swell, gentle string music. I was supposed to propose to Sophia next weekend," he admitted quietly. "But after our last night together, 2 days ago, I couldn't. I called it off this afternoon. Sent the message right before you arrived." Hope flickered in Elena's chest. She leaned in, their lips meeting in a kiss that tasted of rain, salt, and desperate love. His hands framed her face like she was the most precious thing he'd ever held. For a moment, the storm outside felt distant. Then the bar door slammed open. A man who shared Marcus's sharp jawline and dark hair stormed in, eyes blazing. "Julian, Marcus's older brother." "You selfish bastard," Julian growled, ignoring the other patrons. "Dad's on the warpath. The entire merger is hanging by a thread because of your little photographer fling." Marcus stood protectively in front of Elena. "This is between me and her, Julian. Leave." Julian's gaze landed on Elena, something like sympathy flashing briefly. "He didn't tell you everything, did he? Sophia isn't just pregnant. The family has been planning this union for years, and Marcus knew exactly what he was doing when he started seeing you." Elena's world tilted again. She looked at Marcus, searching his face for the truth. His expression was a storm of guilt, love, and fear. The night was far from over. Julian's words hung in the charged air like smoke. Elena grabbed her coat, ready to run, but Marcus caught her hand. Don't, he pleaded, not like this. Against her better judgment, she stayed. Julian left after delivering more pointed accusations, but the damage was done. In the cab ride to Marcus's loft, silence stretched between them, thick and painful. Rain streaked the windows as city lights blurred past. Inside the sleek, modern loft with its floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the Sound, Marcus poured 2 glasses of whiskey. His hands shook slightly. The baby is real, he said, voice low, but I never lied about my feelings for you, Sophia and I. It was one night after a brutal fight with my father. I was lost. Then you walked into my life with your camera and that beautiful smile, and everything changed. Elena stood by the window, arms wrapped around herself. Vulnerability poured out of him as he spoke about growing up under his father's iron rule, the pressure to be perfect, the fear of disappointing the family that had sacrificed everything for his success. She turned to him, tears falling freely. I love you too, Marcus. That's what makes this hurt so much. He crossed the room in 2 strides and pulled her into his arms. Their kiss was urgent, full of all the words they couldn't say. Hands explored familiar territory, his fingers tracing her spine, hers tangling in his damp hair. They moved to the bedroom, clothes shedding like old doubts. Every touch carried raw emotion. He worshipped her with slow kisses down her neck, whispering how she had saved him. She traced the lines of his shoulders, memorizing the way he trembled under her hands. Passion mixed with tenderness, their bodies moving together in a rhythm that felt like both goodbye and new beginning. Afterward, lying tangled in sheets as the rain softened, they talked deep into the night. Secrets spilled out. Her fears of abandonment, his dreams of starting his own firm, free from family control. Laughter even broke through when he recalled their disastrous attempt at cooking pagella on their 3rd date. I want a life with you, Marcus said, pulling her head onto his chest. Messy, real, and ours. Sleep came eventually, wrapped in each other's warmth. But when Elena woke just before dawn, the bed was empty. A note rested on the pillow. I have to face my father and fix this mess once and for all. I'll be back before the sun rises. Please wait for me. I love you more than anything. Worry gnawed at her. Then her phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. If you want the truth about Marcus and why this will never work, meet me at the waterfront pier in 30 minutes. Come alone. Sophia heart pounding. Elena dressed quickly and slipped out into the gray morning. At the pier, Sophia waited, elegant despite her pregnancy and obvious exhaustion. The water lapped gently against the docks as seagulls wheeled overhead. I'm not here to fight you, Sophia said. I'm here to tell you the truth. He couldn't. She handed over a USB drive and printed emails. Marcus had been fighting his family for months. The engagement had been coerced more than chosen. The pregnancy had complications, and recent tests showed Marcus was not the father Sophia had confessed as much to her own family days earlier. He chose you weeks ago, Sophia admitted, voice thick. I was angry and scared, but I see now. You two have something real. I deserve better too. The conversation stretched as dawn painted the sky in soft pinks and golds. 2 women bonded by love and pain found unexpected understanding. Elena's heart began to heal. She raced back to the loft, pulse racing with renewed hope. Marcus burst through the door at the exact same moment. Looking wrecked but determined, Elena, she flew into his arms, showing him the evidence. Relief washed over his face like sunlight breaking through clouds. He held her tight, kissing her forehead, her cheeks, her lips. I was ready to lose everything for you, he said. My father, the company. None of it matters if I don't have you. They spent the morning planning. No more secrets, no more hiding. But one final twist remained. Later that evening, Marcus surprised her. The rooftop bar had been closed for a private event, just them. String lights twinkled against the clearing sky. A small table held her favorite flowers and a bottle of champagne. Her best friend, a fellow photographer, waited discreetly with a camera. Marcus dropped to one knee, the vintage ring in his hand catching the light. It wasn't the flashy one tied to his old life. This one was simple, elegant, and chosen with her in mind. Elena Vargas. You walked into my chaos with your camera and your heart wide open. You taught me that real love isn't about contracts or expectations. It's choosing each other every single day, through storms and sunrises. I want forever with you. Will you marry me? Tears streamed down her face as she whispered, yes. He slipped the ring on her finger and stood, lifting her into a spinning kiss as the city sparkled below. Their photographer friend captured every raw, joyful moment. The following weeks tested them. Marcus's father was furious at first, but eventually softened seeing his son's happiness. Marcus left the family firm to start his own boutique studio focused on sustainable design. Elena's gallery show became a massive success, with their love stories subtly woven through the images. Sophia found her own path, co-parenting with Grace, and even becoming a cautious friend. On their wedding day, 6 months later, under a soft Seattle drizzle that turned to sunshine, they exchanged vows overlooking the water. Marcus's voice broke as he spoke. You changed my last night into our first forever. Elena's response was simple and full of love. With you, every night feels like the beginning. Years later, on another rainy evening, they stood on the balcony of their new home. Their young daughter's laughter spilled out from the living room, where she played with building blocks inspired by her father's designs. Marcus wrapped his arms around Elena from behind, chin resting on her shoulder. "Best decision I ever made," he murmured. She turned in his arms, eyes shining with the same fire that had drawn him in from the start. "Our last night together didn't end anything. It gave us everything we ever wanted." The rain fell gently around them, washing the city clean, just as their love had washed away the pain of the past. In the end, it wasn't perfect. Life never was. But it was theirs, passionate, real, and beautifully unbreakable. Closing warm music fade. Heartfelt silence. The end.